What are the 4 P's of diabetes? That's what I want to talk about today. The 4 P's of diabetes. Have you heard of them? You know about them already? Well, the 4 P's of diabetes are polyuria, polydipsia, polyphagia, and polyneuropathy. Okay? And these are common symptoms experienced by individuals with diabetes and pre-diabetes. Okay? Particularly when the blood glucose levels are very high. Okay? So we're going to break them down for you. The 4 P's of diabetes. The first P, which is polyuria, and polyuria means frequent urination, and it's often at night, and that's where the kidneys try to filter out excess glucose from the blood, leading to increased urine production. Okay, so that's actually probably one of the first things that you'll see. Frequently going to the bathroom, and especially at night. Okay, now the second P is polydipsia. Now that's excess thirst. Now the body loses fluids through the polyuria that we just talked about. And then when you have the polyuria and you're going to the bathroom frequently, then that triggers an increased thirst and an increased fluid intake. Okay, so that's the second P. Then the third P of the 4 P's of diabetes is polyphagia. Now this is increased appetite. So when the glucose can't be used for energy by the body, you got all this glucose in your body, but your body is not able to use it in the correct way. So because of that, then your body signals hungry, and it tries to get more glucose. So your body is trying to let you know that you need more glucose for energy because it's not being able to use the glucose that's in it. Even though there's plenty glucose there, your body cannot absorb it to use for energy. So it signals that you are hungry. And then you have this increased appetite so that you can eat more food. It's kind of like a vicious cycle in a way, you know. So you got polyuria, you got polydipsia, and then you have polyphagia. Those are the 3 that comes first. And then lastly, the last P is polyneuropathy. That's where you get nerve damage. So then you got this high blood sugar that's in your body, not being utilized for energy, and then that can cause damage to your nerve. Having this high blood sugar all the time can cause nerve damage. This can lead to numbness, tingling, and pain in the extremities, especially the hands and the feet. And because you're not able to feel as well, you can't feel your extremities that well, and you got this numbness going on, this if it happens long term, this actually can cause, you know, if you have a sore or a cut or anything on your feet, it would be hard to heal, and then you would end up with an amputation in a lot of cases. So you don't hear much about people getting amputations from diabetes, but they still happen. It may not be, you know, something that everyone talks about now, but I remember when I was growing up in Arkansas, we had a lot of times we would hear about people having to get amputations because You know, they had the numbness, they had the neuropathy, they had all this going on, and they had a sore that wouldn't heal, and they end up getting gangrene or some kind of infection of some sort. And because of that, the doctor cut their foot off. Now, that happened to my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother had diabetes, and she ended up with an amputation of actually both of her legs. Not just one, but both. But not at the same time, but she ended up with both. So these 4 P's of diabetes are serious, and I recommend that you do not ignore them. If you got at least these first 3, polyuria, polydipsia, and polyphagia going on, and you can't explain why, I do recommend that you do check with your doctor, okay? I don't always say, I don't like the idea that people run to their doctors for every little thing. But in this particular case, if you've got at least 3 of these going on and you don't know what it is and you don't already have a diagnosis of diabetes, it's a possibility, not a fact, but a possibility that you could have a diagnosis of diabetes. So I do recommend that you go and get that checked. Now, for those who do have a diagnosis of diabetes and you're having these symptoms frequently, then I would say check your blood sugar, because it could mean that your blood sugar is very high if you start having all of this going on and you do have a diagnosis of diabetes, okay? So this is something serious, and I do recommend that you do something about it, these 4 P's. So if you want more information from me, contact me at SharonFant.com. That's SharonFant.com. Or you can direct message me here on this platform for more information about diabetes. So if you have the 4 P's of diabetes going on, you definitely want to do something about it, okay? Don't just keep walking around. It's not going to disappear. You really have to do something. I think I talked about a guy who wrote this book. He ignored all of that. He ignored all these 4 P's, and to the point that he ended up in the hospital with a blood sugar of 1,337. So you don't want that to happen to you. You don't want to be walking around with a very high blood sugar and then all of a sudden something serious happens and you end up in the hospital and, with serious complications. Okay? So contact me at SharonFant.com if you have questions or you want to talk more about the possibility of you having diabetes, or if you already have a diagnosis for diabetes and you want to see what you can do to reverse it. Okay? So we'll see you next time.